Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we have episode 4 of the minifigure series. This series seems to perform very well on my channel, so I thought I'd just continue it since you guys seem to enjoy it. This is not investment advice, this is just my opinion on the market as always, but without further ado, let's get into it. The first figure on the list is actually so rare, it's actually hard to find an exact price for him, and that is the SW0577, or the black-haired Kanan Jarrus. I found him retailing for around 280 to 300 euros on Bricklink, but it's very fluctuating how he's priced. He was only made for a few production runs of the Big Ghost all the way back in 2014. It was a 100 euro set, and therefore he was behind a big paywall, and it was only produced for a very short amount of time, and that in and of itself is the perfect storm for a super rare character. And that Ghost set in and of itself also only had a shelf life of around 18 months. And as I said, this is almost a perfect storm for a rare minifigure, and therefore I believe that Kanan should be a solid investment and almost a risk-free investment as well. The only things that make him different from the brown-haired one is, you know, the brown hairpiece and also the small beard on him. And the limited production run also worked in his favor and is now very rare. There's only 14 new ones listed on Bricklink. Rare versions of characters, especially popular ones, are always sought after by collectors, especially ones that are these rare as well. Therefore there should be some demand for a character like Kanan Jarrus minifigure always. It's a great pickup in my opinion of a really rare minifigure. Continuing on the Rebels theme, we have Hera Syndulla from the same set, or one of the same sets, as Kanan Jarrus, and she currently retails for around 27 euros. She's still not very common though, even though she came in actually a microfighter back in the day, and also the Ghost for 100 euros as I mentioned with Kanan. The reason I included her here is because she will most likely go up in popularity as she makes her appearance in the Ahsoka series. Her appearance was teased in the trailer that came out a few months back, and I believe that characters that do make their first live-action appearance often go up in price, since they reach a much wider audience. With that, we will probably also get another LEGO iteration of Hera Syndulla, but I highly doubt they will include the same outfit, since her outfit, the entire outfit actually, legs, torso, head and hair, are all exclusive to her minifigure. Therefore I believe that this minifigure will still be highly sought after as her Rebels outfit. And yeah, as I said, the thing is that this figure is entirely unique, so we can probably write off a re-release since we haven't seen her since 2016. It's a solid investment if you ask me, and will probably go up in demand as the Ahsoka show rolls around during 2023. And number 3 on the list, we have SW1157, or the Imperial Artillery Trooper, costing around 9 euros on the market. I touched on this minifigure earlier in one of my set videos, when I talked about the set he comes in being the Armored Marauder. Special colored clones and designation clones like this, or Stormtroopers, have a great track record. Some of them, like the 0531, is currently selling for 75 to 80 euros. Since you only get one of these per set, one of these artillery troopers, and was only available in that very set, it was never going to be easy to get a hold of in bigger quantities, for example army builders. He features the very iconic yellow markings and the yellow shoulder cloth and the full built backpack. The set he comes in is also retiring at the end of this year, so I think it's a perfect opportunity to pick up maybe a few even, as they will most likely only continue to climb from here on out. Army builders will always want a few of these to go with their Imperial armies, so the demand will probably always be there to some extent. You could definitely see this minifigure pushing around 20 to 30 euros in less than 2 years time, depending on how the market evolves, and actually expect it to perform quite admirably on the aftermarket. I think that this is a great pickup with a low risk of failure, and therefore I recommend you picking up a few. Number 4 on the list is SW0312, or TX20, the tactical droid from the Clone Wars, currently selling for around 75 euros in new condition. This is also a droid that I touched briefly on a few videos back when I talked about him, K2SO and other droids. And this droid of course comes from the Clone Wars TV show, and despite featuring quite prominently in the show, he only came in one LEGO set, being the Mace Windu Starfighter all the way back in 2011. The set originally retailed for 40 euros, but the droid alone now retails for almost twice the set retail price. He features a completely unique torso piece, and I think LEGO really nailed the look for this figure, and really resembles how he looked in the show. Since he was only in one set a very long time ago, and that set only had a shelf life of around 1 year, the supply of these droids are very limited, and as I am recording this video, there is only 26 new ones listed on Bricklink. Everyone that has watched the Clone Wars know and recognize this figure. It's a hot piece for Clone Wars collectors, and with there not being any sign of them re-releasing a new tactical droid, I believe that the demand for this will only continue to climb as time goes on and the supply continues to dwindle. It might even be worth looking at getting a used one of these, as they sell for at least 60 euros also. I believe that this is a solid investment with factors like supply and demand really working in its favor. The last figure on the list is also a Rebels figure. It's the SW0574 A, but I also chose to feature the non-A one, or the non-helmeted Ezra Bridger. But the helmeted one, which I am mainly gonna cover here, is retailing for around 34 euros on Bricklink. And why I chose to go with the one that features a helmet is because it's the more exclusive one. It featured only in one set, while the unhelmeted one featured in 2. I believe that this and the other Ezra set will definitely go up in price when the Ashoka show premieres, as he has already been casted for the show, and we will see him in live action for the first time. Since there will most likely be a time jump between the Rebels period and the Ahsoka show period, Ezra will probably look very different in the show, and therefore the minifigures that may accompany the show will also look very different from the Rebels one. And I think we will have the same scenario as with Hera there, that there will be another iteration of him in Lego, but not one that resembles the Rebels one so much, and therefore the Rebels one will still be quite separated from the Ahsoka one. I really think it is a wise decision to get a hold of this figure before the show premieres, as demand will most likely go up when it premieres on live action, or when we see him in live action for the first time. Since he was exclusive to a set that was only on shelves for a little over a year, there are only a few new condition ones on Bricklink, so he's a very exclusive minifigure on its own, and especially when the demand might be rising soon, I think it's a worthy pickup to do right now. That was the list for this time, guys. I really want to thank you all for watching. The support on the last few videos has been quite overwhelming. The last video I posted performed really well. I got like almost 500 views in like 16 hours. I want to thank you all for supporting, commenting, engaging in the comments. It really means a lot. I will keep making these videos. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video.